last stews. Going down in about 2 minutes. Stand by. Return of the two live stews. Going down in about 1 minute. Stay tuned. Sports talk so good, makes you want to slap your mama. The return of the two live stews in 30 seconds. Stand by.
This is what it is, okay? You know what it is. You have to do the right thing. You have to go home to the family, you understand?
I'm not saying you gotta go back there this minute, but you gotta go back.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Fresh off the Plizzane. You know my dang name.
You cheating some of my...
Look, man, I'm all excited over here, and you look like you scared.
Boy, stop. He ain't never scared. If you not stewing, what in the hell are you doing?
Cam is bigger and stronger. Wilson is smaller and faster. Who's the better quarterback, Doug?
Hey, man, it's not even close. Cam Newton, his upside is just tremendous. His ceiling is just so tremendous.
Standing 5'7" in stature, I thought you were going to go with the little guy, man. I did. I'm just keeping it real, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hey, he's going to win the MVP this year, man. A lot of people are talking about the fact that they had an easy schedule, but they don't remember Aaron Rodgers, when he won the MVP in 2014, the Packers played the 7th easiest schedule in the league.
The reason why I dislike this question, man, is because I respect and appreciate Russell Wilson, what he's done, what he stands for. Yeah. I'm talking NC State. I'm talking Wisconsin. I'm talking day one. He's taking the starting job. I'm talking 2 consecutive Super Bowls and 1 Super Bowl win.
But you can't teach 6'5", 250 pounds.
I'm going to take 10 inches instead of 2, man, okay? And that's Cam Newton.
That didn't sound right.
Wait a minute.
I mean, especially coming from a dude.
Not personal.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart.
Oh, you Medea? Come on, man.
I was saying that on my show for the last couple of weeks. I don't know where. I think I got it from Ricky Somali. Ooh-wee. The return of the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. Stupendous Saturday to you, man.
Yeah.
We back, man.
We are back, man.
We back. How many more weeks of this we got?
I think the door is slowly closing, sir. Unless somebody wants to give us an endowment or some kind of trust fund to get things going. But it's slowly closing. And speaking of slowly closing, we got to thank Bruce Hagan for keeping them open as long as he did.
What up, Bruce?
Because Bruce has kept the doors open.
Yes,
He's the
sir.
people's lawyer. Personal injury law is what he does. 445-227-553. So just now in that clip, you mentioned you would take 6'6", 250.
That, right.
We had an argument prior to the show, sir. That is exactly what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
We don't have time to get back into that right now, but...
Oh, yeah, we had a big, huge blow-up here about LeBron James and Steph Curry.
You just chose size.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but the equation, the argument that we were having had more to do with LeBron's place right now, where he is at his career.
Oh, that's what it
I'm
was.
saying he's on the way downhill. He's not the best player in basketball right now.
All right.
And speaking of LeBron, you kind of brought it up just now. What do you think of, we got to get into the show today and set it up, but what do you think about David Blatt being out? Even though they're leading the Eastern Conference, best record in the Eastern Conference, he's out as coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Played in the finals, best record in the Eastern Conference right now. Looks as though he's got a hold of things, but I'm sorry, man, and I may take the side of folks that totally disagree. He had to go.
Yeah.
He had to go. The reality of the situation is this. As good as they're playing in the Eastern Conference,
right,
they had back-to-back losses to one of the two teams that they will play when they get to the finals, and they got embarrassed.
Yeah, bottom line, it's not about winning games or being at the top of the Eastern Conference. They are not going to beat the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs in a 7-game series as it stands right now.
Well, we can't say that.
So I totally respect Griffin's decision to move on. They got to move on. They got a limited timetable to get the most production and the most value out of LeBron James. He's actually, like we were arguing about, on his decline right now.
Rick Carlisle, coach of the Dallas Mavericks, said that he's embarrassed for the state of the league.
Right.
He said that, what's going to happen now? Is Tyronn Lue going to coach the All-Star game? Guess what, Coach? Yes, the heck he is. But he's going to coach the All-Star game.
I just thought about this, and you're listening to the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. This is a perfect example of why I always say stats lie. The stats say the Cleveland Cavaliers are a great team. Right. They got the best record in the East. But if you use your eyes,
that's good.
If you use your eyes, you know that they probably wouldn't beat the San Antonio Spurs or the Golden State Warriors. The ultimate goal for them is to win a championship.
This is good.
Stats lie all the time, man.
Jay-Z,
use your eyes.
One of my favorite quotes is from Jay-Z. Stats lie. Men lie. Women lie. Numbers don't.
They lie all the time.
In the situation when it comes to sports,
right?
Numbers lie all the time, and this is a glaring example of such.
So I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad. And I hope Tyronn Lue, he's a former Laker. I hope he does a good job.
Here's where it went downhill. When you see Blatt on national TV.
Freudian Golden Girls.
What's the Golden Girls, right?
Freudian slip.
That voice you hear is Naughty Dread.
When you see Blatt on national TV getting coached by the assistant coach,
right.
It's a situation.
He was dead man walking from the day he got there anyway based on the circumstances, them bringing him in after they already, or bringing LeBron in after they already gave Blatt the job.
He was hired before LeBron said, I'm coming home.
Yeah.
And he was hired to work with a different cast of characters.
Right. It was all messed up from the beginning.
Yeah, so the minute they hired him and LeBron says, I'm coming home, it's like, man, I wish we could do a do-over, but this guy's got a 3-4 year guaranteed contract.
Right. I'm actually shocked they didn't fire him last year. I thought he was going to get fired last year when they had that stretch where they weren't winning at the beginning of the year, and they started to turn things around.
I kind of get them keeping him to see.
I thought they were going to cut bait then.
I kind of get them keeping him to see what would happen. Naughty Dread called me the minute he got fired and was like, let me tell you when I knew he was going to get fired. Give your example, sir.
Yeah, during the game.
But what did you see that made you say, oh, he's got to go?
Against the Clippers, they were up 10. They went to the hacker Jordan.
Yeah.
And it worked. They went up 16. And so they went to the sideline. They asked David Blatt, during the in-game coaching interview, why did you use that rule? And he pretty much said Tyronn Lue made that call. He said then he went on to say, I hate that rule. Right. I hope they change it as soon as possible.
You hate the rule, but you hope they change it, but you just used it for your ball club. Why? Because
your
the assistant coach told you to do it, and guess what happened? You went from being up 10 and feeling like you're in danger, being up 16. You gotta go.
Yeah, he gotta go.
You gotta go.
This is the Two Live Stews, the return of the Two Live Stews, 640 WGST.
And the fact of the matter is this, man, I'm trying to steal the show. The fact of the matter is this. The respect given on the sideline is not to Blatt.
Man.
It's to Lue.
The
players come and sit by him. The players talk to him. He gets in Kyrie Irving's face. He tells LeBron, dude, what are you doing? Blatt doesn't do that.
Yeah, they're trying to win this year, man. They're trying to win this year.
You can't play for next year.
And as their team is set up right now, man, it's not going to happen.
I'm sorry, you're about to do something that's very important.
I'm just going to tell people, man, you're listening to the Two Live Stews, 640 WGST. Today, we've got 10 the Stew, which were the biggest 10 stories of this past week.
I'm not trying to steal the show. Okay? But for those who may not live in Atlanta that's listening, we had a whole bunch of snow going on outside.
It's a freaking monsoon snowstorm outside.
Ever since my days in Detroit, I had 5 years in Detroit.
Ooh, that was horrible, too.
Where we had snow that was 10 times worse than this all the time.
Was you drinking dirty water up there? Maybe that's why you be acting so crazy now.
That's Flint. That's Flint, man.
Yeah.
That's Flint. That's disrespectful for you to say that.
Same thing. Detroit, Flint. How far are they from each other?
I'm glad you mentioned Flint because during the snow, I was forced to sometime chase my tail in Flint and Lansing, and if I didn't have a four-wheel vehicle, I couldn't get to it.
Chase your what?
Oh, I didn't even say that.
Chasing your own tail? As in you're not getting anything accomplished, you're chasing your own tail?
Chasing coffee tables.
Oh.
On the lower backs of women. Yeah, I was forced to.
You got your,
I had to.
You got your godson in here, man.
I got something about to be in high school, man. He already understands all this stuff. If Jai doesn't understand this, then I got to have a situation with his father, not him. Yeah, not him. He understands this stuff. So anyway, back to the moral of the story.
He got the starting 5 haircut and everything.
I started
a nappy afro.
I've kept a 4-wheel vehicle.
Jai growing up.
At all times because of this weather. Even though it's only 2-3 times a year,
right.
I keep a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Now, you, sir.
Right.
How'd you get here today?
I got here. I actually got detoured coming down Pacers Ferry. The studios are in Buckhead, and there was a tree down. I didn't think I was going to make it here. I had to jump on navigation, and they rerouted me all through the city, man, and it was crazy. This is real snow.
Spend a little more money, man.
Like,
a little bit more. Spend a little bit more money, man. That vehicle you drive?
Hey, I don't know if you read the newspaper today, but I ain't had a job in 3 years, man. What do you mean spend a little bit more money? Oh, you trying to be funny? Oh, you got you a little job.
Yo, I don't have a job.
You got you a little 3-day audition.
I don't have a job.
And now I need to spend money.
I'm sorry.
You got you a little 3-day audition.
You took that the wrong way.
Now I got to spend money.
You took that the wrong way, man.
Hey, you ain't had to do your brother like that.
I'll talk about that audition a little bit later, man, but you took that the wrong way.
You know I might have to move in with you at some point. You know this. Hey, when we get back from the break, man, 10 to Stu-Way, the 10 biggest stories this past week in the world of sports. Don't go away, the 2 Live Stews.
Appreciate you, Bruce.
Was that necessary?
My bad, man.
Not necessary.
My bad.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
The hell? It's genius. It's genius.
Wait a minute.
Every time I think that Walter don't know what he's doing and he's just another dumb alpha that we paying money to, he does something like this. This is appropriate for the situation, sir.
But it's not Christmas time.
But it's snowing outside, sir. It's not about the Christmas song.
And you're listening to the 2 Live Stews, the return of the 2 Live Stews.
What the hell?
And it is a ton of snow outside, man. Thank y'all for joining us this morning. 10 to Stu-Way, man. We got to get into that. You got a big announcement that we made yesterday on the Doug Stewart Show. If you've never heard the Doug Stewart Show.
I don't get invited, but you call me and invite me to break breaking news on your show.
You better believe it.
Yep.
You can check out the Doug Stewart Show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time online at thedougstewartshow.com. But you made a big announcement yesterday on the show, man. Let our listeners know on 640 WGST.
I'll let them know, man, but not right now, man. Not right now, man, because I'm so excited about it, man. It might derail what I need to do today, you know?
Okay, all right. So let's get on with 10 to Stewie, man. The 10 biggest stories from this past week in the world of sports and entertainment.
Personal injury, auto accidents, motorcycle accidents, whatever kind of injury you get yourself involved in, my man Bruce Hagen is the guy that can help you get your situation straight. 445-227-5553 for a free consultation.
The cadre with the questions.
All right, last week we had the NFL.
Wait. You were supposed to say
it's cadre.
Okay,
that's your thing, man. You got to stick with your thing, man.
It's cadre.
All right.
Last week we had the NFL divisional playoff round. First in the AFC, there was Kansas City facing the Patriots in New England. Now, Kansas City looked real good in that beating they gave Houston the week before. With that said, at any point in the game, did you believe the Chiefs would or could win it, Doug?
Not 1 second. Not 1 second. And, I mean, New England was just firing on all cylinders last week. Kansas City actually made a great game of it with the onside kick at the end. Gronkowski with the onside recovery. But, you knew which team was better. You knew which team was clearly in control, man. I didn't think at 1 second that the Patriots were going to win that game. A crazy week last week in the NFL with both games. We'll talk about the or another game in the NFC. But, I never thought for a second that Kansas City was going to win that game.
I forgot until doing some research that the Patriots were playing for their 5th straight AFC championship game.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man. And the score is a tad bit deceiving, finishing up at 27-20.
Right.
But New England had total control of that entire ball game.
Yeah.
KC snuck into the game late. In the first series, sir, Brady went 8 for 11. All passes. They didn't run the ball one time until he got to pay dirt with Gronkowski. How many times have you watched a series in the NFL where a team doesn't run the ball once?
Well, I mean, the Patriots have done that a couple times over the years. I can remember where they're not really restricted to the whole theme of you got to set up the pass by run.
No.
Nah.
This is what we do. We are a system
They'll
team.
do what they do, yeah.
Real quick, I want to say something to Alex Smith real quick. I want to pat him on the back because he was not the reason why they lost that ball game. He did his part.
They actually played a good game,
yes.
man. It just was a better team they were playing.
They were outmanned.
Yeah. And in the other AFC divisional game, Denver skates by Pittsburgh 23-16 in the game where Peyton Manning threw no touchdowns. Now, one bright spot in the game was the game-winning drive orchestrated by Manning. Did Manning do enough to convince you he's back, Ryan?
This is a simple answer for me, Doug.
Mm-hmm. And you've been a Peyton Manning hater for the last couple of weeks.
I am a hater of Peyton Manning.
And you're listening to the Two Live Stews.
Peyton Manning doesn't have to show me anything. He doesn't. Even though in the past, this season, he's put some noodles in the air, he's still Peyton Manning, and he has the knowledge and the database of football that others can't compete with, man.
But that's all I was saying all of those weeks is you got to put him out there just because of who he is and the knowledge that he's gained over the years and the experience that he has. You can't put Brock Osweiler out there over Peyton Manning.
But the way he was playing then, Doug, Brock Osweiler deserved to be in there. And keep in mind of this right here. When they played New England this past season, they got a victory over New England.
Mm-hmm.
In an overtime game on November 29th, guess who the quarterback was? Brock Osweiler.
Right.
So he has done his job to deserve that opportunity, sir.
Peyton Manning, man, his teammates dropped 7 passes and only came through in clutch time. Denver is 10-3 in games decided by 7 points or fewer, and Manning is said being battle-tested is the big thing, and you're exactly right about that. He's battle-tested. And Denver's not going to win this game tomorrow.
I agree.
With Peyton Manning.
I agree.
They're going to win because of their defense. Peyton Manning tomorrow is probably going to be more so probably a caretaker and a game manager than he has ever in his career, man.
We'll make our picks later, man. Huge shout-out.
I'm not saying Denver's going to win. I'm saying if they win this game tomorrow, it's not going to be because of Peyton Manning.
Bradley Roby, the DB that punched that ball out of Fitzgerald Toussaint's hand, he probably should never, ever pay for another steak dinner in the city ever again.
Yeah, that was
They
the
were
game.
about to lose, sir.
Right.
If he holds on to that ball, they're about to lose. That was a great play that players are taught. You punch at the ball, you club at the ball, you rip at the ball, and the ball will come out.
Over in the NFC, Carolina ran up the score in the first half against Seattle, 31-0. But in the second half, they ain't score at all. Did Carolina play a dangerous game, Doug, or did they have the game wrapped up at halftime?
The game was wrapped up, and that's the problem with young players and a young team like Carolina, in relative terms, Cam Newton. is the psychological aspect of the game they're missing because they're young. They don't understand when you get a team down and you got your foot in your throat, you got to go ahead and finish the job. So I think subconsciously that's what played into it in the way that they play. Probably even the coaches as well. They probably coached a different way in the second half subconsciously. Not even knowingly, subconsciously. So they'll learn from that, and maybe that happening last week and has happened a couple times this year will make them learn and realize what they need to do going forward in these playoffs. Maybe it'll help them out at the end.
One reason why I'm starting to like Cam Newton is because he came to the podium and said, we all got tight booties. And he was exactly right. They tightened up to stop doing what they did to get them that 31-point lead. While that game was being played, and I concur and agree with everything you just said. You're about to say he shouldn't go with the tight booty thing?
Right, I was about to say, I'm very uncomfortable with that reference.
But you know what it means. You know what that means.
I'm very uncomfortable with
Everybody
that
knows what that means, though.
I know it's 2015, but I'm still uncomfortable with that reference.
I tend to have people stop by the house to watch games like that, man, because the Digital Dungeon is set up perfectly for us to enjoy games and beverages.
You're listening to the Two Live Stews.
When they got up 31-0 at halftime, I told my boy that was there, hey, man, do you remember the comeback between the Bills and the Oilers in 1993 when a former teammate of mine that I played with in Detroit, Frank Wright, came back to win after coming back with 32 points?
Yeah.
I said, this football game is not over, man.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
you crazy, man. You crazy. I said, if they would have gone in with the score being 39-0, I say it's over. But I've seen a 32-point comeback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they almost had it happen again.
Carolina should never have been in that position, man. Once again, I think it's going to help them going forward.
In a more interesting game, Arizona makes short overtime work of Green Bay in a game where Arizona seemed to have control of the game for the most part. Carson Palmer threw 2 picks in the red zone and almost a third that skipped to Michael Floyd for a touchdown. Needless to say, he's no Kurt Warner. Does Carson Palmer scare you at all, Ryan?
Carson Palmer doesn't scare me at all.
He should.
However, the Band-Aid and the tape on his throwing hand on that finger, that scares the hell out of me. That's a problem. And that's why several times in last week's game, there were balls that sailed over receivers and balls that bounced in front of receivers because you can't firmly grip that ball like you need to in inclement weather with that tape on your finger. I trust Carson Palmer, but it's that finger that he's going to have tape I got an issue with.
I don't know how you can trust Carson Palmer. This is his first playoff win since he's been in the NFL.
You always go back to old stuff.
A couple of bad interceptions this year, one horrible interception last week as well. But the thing about it is he's got Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, man, is going to bail him out of a lot of situations. He still holds a single-season playoff record set during Arizona's Super Bowl run 7 years ago. Gave the Cardinals signature plays last week, the big, long run where he had down the field to about the 5-yard line, scoring a touchdown.
You saw that stiff arm?
Do you think, and you know what, are we going to talk about this? We are going to talk about this a little later, man. What do you think about Larry Fitzgerald, man, as one of the greatest receivers of all time? Doesn't have a lot of hardware.
Well, that question is coming up.
If we're going to talk about it, why you asking me that now, man? Does that make any sense?
Because I was kind of talking about Larry Fitzgerald.
Well, I think he's a great receiver, but we'll get into that a little bit later,
You're
man.
right. Go ahead, Noddy. My bad.
All right, well.
Everybody throw it off now. Everybody throw it off.
Exactly.
This guy jumped to number 8. We only on number 4.
It's because even on that play to Larry Fitzgerald, Carson Palmer threw across his body across the field.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a bad throw.
That was a bad decision.
That's a bad decision. It worked. It worked. But that in itself is a great example about not trusting Carson Palmer.
Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Everybody's all in
it worked out.
of the play.
It worked out.
That time.
Yeah.
But before we get to the conference final games, which remaining running game defense combination do you like the most going forward, Doug?
Obviously Carolina, man. Jonathan Stewart, fantastic when he's healthy. They think that he's pretty much healthy right now. Carolina passed for over 240 yards a game, rushing for 142 yards a game. They're at home. I expect that fantastic defense, that one of the top defenses in the league, to show up this week. It's going to be like the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field in Charlotte. They even have worse weather than we do, man. I like that matchup and that pairing of that running game for Carolina and that defense as well going into this NFC Championship game.
In the regular season this year, 2015-2016 season, the 4 remaining teams offensively break down like this. Carolina's second in rushing with 2,200-plus yards. Arizona is 8th in rushing, Denver 17th, and New England is 30th. So the rushing clearly goes to Carolina. Why? Because Cam, being the X factor, can pull that ball down and get you a first down. I'm not asking him to rush for 100 yards. I'm asking him from time to time, if everybody's covered and the blitz is on, to move the chains. Defensively, in the regular season, it breaks down like this. Carolina was 12th. Arizona was 10th. Denver's 11th, and New England's 9th. So Carolina's defense hadn't played that well on defense compared to some of the others that's still on the field. But the offensive numbers are so overwhelming, you'd be a fool to go with anybody outside of Carolina.
Yeah, the X factor is Cam Newton, man.
He is.
You're talking about comparisons. I remember last week you talked about that you're going with the Green Bay Packers because of Aaron Rodgers, even though they hadn't been playing great.
Not last week. Not last week. I went to Arizona last week, sir.
Or the week before.
The week before
when they played
Washington.
Yeah, yeah. But bottom line, if you look at these two quarterbacks, man, one guy is a dynamic playmaker. The other guy is throwing the ball across his body in a crucial situation.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. All right, when we get back from the break, man, the second half of 10 the Stew, and we got the Funky Four coming up a little bit later as well. When we talk about football, because there's only 2 games. There's not even 4 games left.
I got big news,
Let's call
man.
it the Funky 2.
I got big news, man.
Yeah, and you got some big news to let out to the world.
My phone rang, man, and I got so horny when it said 929, man. It was... That's incorrect, man.
Was that the time?
I apologize.
Why you always take it to a sexual avenue?
Because that's where my mind is.
Don't go away. The Two Live Stews. Why you always do that, man?
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
This is 1987 right here, baby. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Two Live Stews, the return of the Two Live Stews on 640 WGST.
Yep.
And thank you for joining your boys on this Saturday morning. Be careful out there on them streets.
Please be careful on them streets, man. When it comes to personal injury law, with over 30 years of experience, who else you going to call if you find yourself in a situation? I know this weekend there's going to be a few cars that slide or bump into somebody else's car. If you get injured or you think you injured, there could be gold in that situation, man. Call 445-227-5553 and ask Bruce for that free consultation.
This is the return of the Two Live Stews. We're talking about 10 the Stew. Let's get the second half of 10 the Stew.
Everybody's on it today. Alfred, Walter, everybody's on it.
With my man, Naughty Dread.
All right, now we're going to get into these championship games. We'll start with the AFC championship game. Denver hosting New England. Will Peyton Manning need to have multiple touchdown passes to keep Denver in this game, Ryan?
No. By no means does he have to have multiple touchdown passes. The only thing Peyton Manning needs to do is not make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
His arm is not stronger than the opposing quarterbacks anymore. He's not going to be able to move the pocket like Cam Newton. If the rush comes through, he's going to have to take a sack or two or fall down to get rid of the ball, but he can't try to force any passes. If he plays a smart game, which we all know he's capable of doing, they can win this ball game. Like Doug said before, their defense is where it's at.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, man. This is all about the defense and Peyton not making mistakes. Gary Kubiak, the new head coach there, taking over for John Fox, is running the ball a lot more. They have a lot of very intricate design plays offensively. If Bebe Thomas can break out of this slump that he's seemingly been in over the last couple of weeks, man, and they can run the ball, control the clock, kind of keep the Denver or the Patriots offense off the field, man, they should be fine. It's all about the defense in this game, sir.
But, Doug, how key with Edelman's role in New England, being able to pierce through Denver's number one defense, how critical will that be for New England going forward?
Super critical, man. Julian Edelman has posted games of 9 catches or more 16 different times. The Pats are 14-2 in those contests, including 4-1 in the postseason. I talked about this yesterday on the DougStewartShow.com, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If I were the Denver Broncos, I would bracket Gronkowski with two players, one guy under, one guy over the top. I would put Talib on Edelman to take him out of the game, and I'd have Danny Amendola beat me. If y'all going to beat me, y'all going to beat me with Danny Amendola, but I'm not going to let Rob Gronkowski do it, and I'm not going to let Julian Edelman do it as well.
I don't even need to say nothing, man. The Patriots are a system-ran offense. Okay, they dink and dunk and dink and dunk to the point where you get so tired and you tired of sitting on that or squatting on that route in the flats that you just happen to miss somebody sneaking in behind you. If the Broncos don't put Talib on Edelman and say wherever he goes, you go and keep him out of this,
right,
they'll be crazy.
Right,
sir. I respect Edelman and his career to this point. I respect how he got to the league. I respect what he's done. He's a good player. But he is not a number one receiver in the National Football League.
He's been playing like one.
He is a product of a system.
Right.
He's a product of a system that coaches have allowed to have this success.
Yeah.
Okay? He's a great route runner. He's not going to beat you over the top.
Yeah. I put Talib on him, man, and just be like, just wherever he go. If he go to the bathroom, you follow him.
Go to sleep right here, Talib. Go to sleep.
In the NFC, Carolina will host Arizona in a matchup of MVP candidates at quarterback. But also you have Coach of the Year candidates. Ryan, both of these coaches, Bruce Arians and Ron Rivera, have done a great job this season.
Yep.
Which coach do you trust the more in this type of setting?
This is a tough one, man, because when I pick games, as I've been telling y'all for the last few weeks, I look at the best defense, the best quarterback, and then the best head coach. And when I look at these two head coaches, I bump heads, man. Mm-hmm. I like both of them equally.
And you're listening to the Two Live Stews?
They're both students of the game. They've both been around the block. They've both won at a high level. And you're going to think I'm simple and I'm petty for what I'm about to say, man. Give me the dude that wears the Kango in the post-game press conference, man. Give me the dude that wears the Kango, man, because I think that dude relates a little bit better to his players, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that dude takes himself as serious as Ron Rivera, who was on the 85 Bears, and I won a championship. And no. I think that dude humbles himself and has a beer on the plane coming home with the players. I don't think he sits in first class when they fly back from another city, man.
Take it to you to take it to the Kango aspect.
That's how I feel, man.
I'm actually going the other side of this, man. Ron Rivera has that lineage, man. You talk about Mike Ditka coaching tree.
Agree.
Okay, you're talking about Ron Rivera, Jeff Fisher, who hadn't done a lot himself, by the way. I'm kind of disproving my point. Sean Payton, all of these guys came under Mike Ditka, man. Very successful, played for a great organization, was one of the greatest teams of all times. Has built Carolina, man. Now, he's a lot to do with it is Cam Newton, the fact that you got Cam Newton.
But that's in his deck.
But that's not
That's his
problem,
card. That's his card.
And he's coached these guys up, man. 15-1 this year, man. I would go with Ron Rivera.
Can I ask you a question, man? Everything you just said is factual, and I agree. I'm not going to debate you on anything you just said. Who you want to have a beer with, man? Who you want to smoke a stogie with?
I want to have a beer with the guy that got on the Kango.
Okay, man. And I think in the locker room at this level.
You know, a lot of people listening to us don't even know what a Kango is, right?
Well, then that's their problem.
Well, a Kango is the little cool little pull-down hat that Arians wears all the time.
Hey, man, I think that makes a
difference.
Brothers
wear it up on the street.
When it comes to...
Your uncle always got one on.
When it comes to the fourth quarter and we're 27-27 tied up, there's 2 minutes left, my defense has got the ball, or my offense has got the ball, or my defense has to stop them.
Right.
What coach do you think the players are going to look in their eyes and say, I'm going to do this for you, coach? I'll make the play, coach.
Yeah.
I think it's the dude with the Kango, man.
All right, go with that.
Well, Doug, you brought this up earlier, so we're finally going to get here and talk about it. Larry Fitzgerald has had an outstanding career, only a championship eluding him. Where does he stack up with the other greats at that position if he can grab that ring, Doug? Top 5? Is he top 10 all time?
You know what? I actually went and did a list and pulled up names of guys I would take before Larry Fitzgerald.
Well, we got the same list, then. Go ahead.
Terrell Owens, Michael Irvin, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, Marvin Harrison, that's kind of questionable, Calvin Johnson, and Sterling Sharp. Okay. Those are the guys I would take. So that's like 9 guys.
All right.
Larry Fitzgerald is probably in there. Now, there's been a lot of great guys, larger. There's been a ton of guys that you would say were fantastic players. Tim Brown.
Fitzgerald's better than Largent.
Yeah.
Tim Brown's tough, but Larry's faster than Tim Brown, a little bit bigger.
So he's right there around 10 for me. If he gets a Super Bowl ring, He might even still be a Hall of Famer right now. If they put in Chris Carter, he might still be a Hall of Famer right now. If they get a ring, he's definitely a top 10 wide receiver of all time.
Society and what we've dealt with the past 3.5 years is getting to you, man.
What do you mean?
You just ished on the great Marvin Harrison because of nothing to do with football.
No.
Because he pulls guns and shoots at people to protect his property.
No.
Yeah, no. Well, why'd you say that? Why'd you question Marvin Harrison?
The only reason I question it is because I do believe that he benefited for a long time because of a system and what they were doing in Indianapolis.
Well, the system benefited because of him.
Well, that's true, but that's why I still put him in there. But I just said, when I think about Marvin Harrison, I do believe a lot of his success had to do with the system. I still put him in, though.
Can you read those top 5 names again real quick? What's the top 5?
The top 5, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Terrell Owens.
All right.
That's 4.
That's 4.
Okay.
Give me one more.
Give me one more. Jerry Rice, Chris Carter. All he did is catch touchdowns.
All right.
As much as I don't like his political standpoint, a lot of things.
I will put Larry Fitzgerald
before Chris Carter. Chris Carter wasn't the greatest athlete, but he caught that ball.
And that's my point. That's why I'll put him along with Chris Carter, or maybe a tad before him, because he's a better athlete.
Did you see him walk away from the defense last week on that long play?
And he's only 35 years old now.
Like, I didn't know he did. I did not know or remember that he was that explosive of a player.
The only reason why he didn't score was because his age and that distance of run that he just ran didn't allow him to lift his legs up when that boy grabbed his ankle.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he would have pushed through that tackle.
And to the young greenhorns out there that don't remember Sterling Sharp, just know
Shame
beast.
on you.
Just know beast.
Shame on you.
If you think Shannon is good, remember Sterling Sharp. Go back and look at Sterling Sharp before his injuries.
If Sterling wasn't injured,
he
would probably be one of the best that's ever played the game.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, final question. Who has more to gain as far as legacy goes with a win this weekend?
No question, man. It's Peyton Manning. He lost a heartbreaker in the Super Bowl when his Indianapolis Colts fell to the New Orleans Saints 31-17. The game was lost due to a late-game interception return for a touchdown. We know about all the futility that he's had in the playoffs with last-second interceptions against the New England Patriots in general. It's about Peyton Manning. If he doesn't win this Super Bowl, we're going to look back at him in his career as a big disappointment, more importantly, in the playoffs. He got to get this Super Bowl.
My answer's simple, man. The equipment managers for all 4 teams.
What do you mean by that?
Because the further you go in the game, the bigger check you get, and that's everybody, not just the football players. They can probably get a $100,000 check if they go to the Super Bowl and win. So whatever team wins, the equipment manager is going to eat for another 2 or 3 years because typically he only makes about 45. And that's a fact.
Man, I like that. I root for the equipment manager.
Yeah, man. Let him get some of that cheese.
Except for the New England Patriots equipment manager.
He's a cheater, man.
Hey, they work, though.
Hey, when we get back from the break, man, the Funky 4, the 4 biggest games. Actually, it's just 2. The Funky 2 this weekend in football. And Ryan's got a big announcement if y'all haven't heard. Stay tuned. The 2 Live Stews.
Thank you, Bruce.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975 and work it out.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the 2 Live Stews, the return of the 2 Live Stews on 640 WGST. If you want to hear today's broadcast, okay, again, or if somebody you want to refer to hear today's show, have them go to StewartMediaandEntertainment.com. StewartMediaandEntertainment.com and check out all the past episodes of The Return of the Two Live Stews.
Shouts out to my godson Jai in the building, man, and his dad who came to video the entire show today. We're going to cut it up, chop it up, and put it out there for y'all to see on Stewart Media and Entertainment. We'll let you know when. So shouts out to Sincere Creative.
Okay. All right. The Funky Four, man? The four biggest games in football?
I like that.
Actually, today is the Funky Two.
That's okay.
And Funky Four has a little bit of relevance to us and our fraternity and all like that, so that's where we get the term from. But it's the Funky Two today, man, the two biggest games of football. Let's start first with the AFC, the Patriots and the Broncos. Let's talk about it, man. What are your thoughts about this game? Pick your winner.
It's hard to go against a team that's played in this game 5 times.
And that's cheating daily.
And not only are they cheating, man, but the stuff that I've been reading is telling me that the league knew they were cheating and they tried to cover it up, man.
Yeah.
All right, so they tried to protect Kraft. They tried to protect Belichick. So it's tough to go against that. But even before that, man, with all that aside, these guys have done this before, man. And in this matchup, man, Brady has won 11 out of the 16 matchups head-to-head. And I know it's not a head-to-head situation. There's teams involved, but I think that Brady is on the top of his game much more so than Peyton Manning right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love Denver's defense, man, but offensively, I just wonder if it can be done. And Belichick, man, is a much better coach on his sideline versus
Kubiak.
I'm sorry, man. I begrudgingly have to say New England will win, and I'm thinking the score will be like 27-23, 27-24. Something like that, man.
Okay, now, you know I have a real axe to grind with the New England Patriots.
You hate them.
I hate them, man. I hate that team and that quarterback more so than anybody else I probably ever hated in sports. Even those couple of years when I had it in for LeBron James, which I'm back to being a LeBron James fan now. But
that's not true.
I analyze this game, man, and I really think the Broncos can win. I think the Broncos really can win. What I think is going to happen is what I talked about earlier, man. They're going to take Edelman out of the game with Talib. They're going to do some type of scheming to stop Gronkowski. As a matter of fact, I don't think Gronkowski might not even finish the game.
You can't scheme Gronk, man.
I think Gronkowski might not finish the game. They've already talked about going for his knees. They're not going to let Gronkowski beat them. Well, I think they've already got that in their head.
Knowing that they're going to be going for his knees, which is the only way to bring him down, he's going to protect himself,
which
man.
is understandable.
And Brady's going to protect himself, protect him as well, man. Catch that ball if somebody's around you. Get off your feet, Gronk. Get down.
I think that they have a poor day getting the ball down the field, passing the football, the New England Patriots. I'm going with the Denver Broncos, man. 24-21 in a relatively low-scoring game for the New England Patriots. 24-21, the Denver Broncos advance to the Super Bowl. What about the NFC?
I like Carolina, and I badly, because of Arians, because of our cousin, Andre Ellington, who is a Arizona Cardinal, because of Larry Fitzgerald, I badly want to pick them to win. But my job on this radio is to pick winners. And I'm picking the Carolina Panthers because Cam Newton is the X factor. I do not see them having the ability to contain that young man at doing what he does. I don't think that, even though Patrick Peterson's a beast and the secondary is good, I might have been more apt to pick them if the Honey Badger was still playing, but the Honey Badger's out right now watching from the sideline. I like Carolina, man, and I like Carolina to win big. I think they don't take their foot off the gas like they did last week. I think they beat these guys by 12 to 14 points.
I agree with that. It's actually going to be a pretty good day tomorrow. They're calling for it to be 46 sunny tomorrow at Bank of America Stadium.
The weather's never a factor to me because both teams are playing in the same temperature. The weather.
Well, I mean,
I never put that into my equation.
It would be a factor if you took into account the personnel. If Arizona was relying on the pass and it was snowing and the receivers couldn't get traction and the quarterback couldn't get the ball down the field, that would come into play.
That is true.
But so that's not going to be an issue, man. The entire difference in this game, man, is the quarterback. One quarterback is one of the greatest, most dynamic playmakers that we've ever seen, even though he's young.
Is he the MVP?
Oh, he's definitely the MVP. That's not even a question. The other quarterback is a guy who's making it or won his first playoff game ever in his career, really has underwhelmed based on him being the first pick in the draft. It's the quarterback, man. I'm going with Carolina in a blowout, man, 38-17.
And that is our funky two corners today, which typically would be
my
four.
Funky two corners, yeah, my nasty funky two.
Shouts out to Bruce Hagan, the people's lawyer. Can I say something, man?
Omega Sci-Fi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man?
Yes, sir.
On the heels of the Oscar this past week, getting a lot of pub for a lack of diversity being shown.
Right.
Have you? What if Cam Newton doesn't win this MVP, man, because of who he is?
Man, there's no way he's not going to win. I understand the point you're trying to make, and we've seen crazy things happen in voting. There's always crazy outcomes in boxing.
Can I remind you one thing, man?
Huh?
A year when Barry Sanders rushed for 2,000 yards, something that hadn't been done a lot.
Yeah, he shared it with Brett Favre. I remember that.
So would you be mad if Cam has to share this award?
Oh, I'd be really mad. The man accounted for 45 touchdowns. There's no explanation. There's no explanation anybody can give me to not give Cam Newton his MVP award.
Look,
if they try to share this award with him and Brady, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nobody is a more positive person than me. No one spreads hope, love, and peace. But go ahead and get your heart and your mind prepared to deal with a co-MVP.
Go ahead, man. We're up against the time. Go ahead and give everybody the big announcement you got, man.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week from 10 to 2 p.m., your boy will be on air with Rick Hamla on 92.9 The Game here in the ATL. Yes, sir!
Yes, sir!
Hallelujah! 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 Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So the details
Awesome,
are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just 3 days.
It's an audition, man.
It's an audition.
It's not a job. A 15-year vet got an audition. It's cool, man. I love it. I love the opportunity. And I keep telling people
don't get me going down that road,
social
man.
media has blown up, man. People are blowing me up on Instagram and everything else, saying congratulations. Oh, this is yours. This is yours. I want everybody to know I have not been offered a job.
How did this happen, man?
I have not been offered a job.
Who are you working for, Tyler Perry?
I have not been offered a job. This is an audition, man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go in there and have fun, and no matter what ends up happening and what decision is made, hallelujah, the glory still goes to the good man upstairs.
You
man.
better believe it. Now, my show is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., so it kind of intersect with yours. So tune into mine, then tune into his. Tune into mine, tune into his. TheDougStewartShow.com.
Bruce Hagen, we love you, man. We appreciate you. If y'all have a problem, holla at Bruce, man. Hagen-law.com.
All right, we'll do it again next week, man, with the Two Live Stews.
Love God and love each other.
Peace.